Sony ponies, calm down. Xbox, calm down. Nintendo, wait, fans, calm down. I didn't want to exclude you from this. What is going on, everyone? I don't think I've ever seen something this crazy when it comes to the possibility that another game could show up on another console or platform or anything. It is the last 2 days on social media and the internet, which I know is not already a great way to start the video and everything. But man, it is seeing it has been an absolute treat to read the comments. Like, I can't even form full sentences because I'm just like, holy crap, like some of the takes online. Now, I know a majority of you are actually good people, just like we are here. We're all good. We're all neutrals at the very minimum. Hopefully somewhat friends, especially if we met in person and everything. But for all of the crazy console fanboys and everything, go ahead, leave the dislike right now, because I'm definitely gonna be dropping some reactions that you might not like. So go ahead, leave your dislikes right now, leave your comments, call us shills, call us whatever you want. We'll wait a second. You know, editors, go ahead and put like a small clock and a, you know, like we'll be right back kind of music on there. You know, just go ahead right there. All the crazies leave? Awesome. All right, so if you don't know what I am talking about, there have been rumors and speculations that Xbox games are going to start coming to other platforms. We're not talking PC, by the way. We're talking Nintendo console, aka the Switch, and maybe in the near future, whatever the Switch 2 is going to be, and the PlayStation consoles. Now, if you have paid attention to any amount of gaming news and everything, this really shouldn't be too much of a shock to you, because if you remember back during the Activision trial thing and Sony was coming on saying things and Xbox was coming, you know, defend it and everything like that, they even talked about bringing their games eventually to all matters of platform. That's what Game Pass is in a nutshell, right? And it's funny because Phil Spencer, aka the head of Xbox right now, has even gone on to a podcast in the past, like I say in the past as in 2023, and he has literally said, look, we lost the quote unquote console, you know, war. We lost that battle. And so instead of trying to play catch up, we need to create our own game. Essentially, we need to do our own thing that works for us. So I want to talk about what this could potentially mean, how we're actually already been seeing this in another area of the gaming industry, and why I think, guess what? It's not that big of a deal, because in some regards, it's not going to change some things, but in the end, it's actually going to help some other things. So if you guys are interested in these types of discussions and everything, talking about not necessarily just simply news and everything, but just anything gaming in general, we talk about this stuff on our live streams. We talk about it in obviously discussion videos like this, and we also talk about it just other long format videos, podcasts, you name it. Make sure you like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new and you want to support the channel and see more videos like this. Again, more playlists will be up in the top right corner, maybe a pinned comment down there. Check it out. But regardless, let's get into this. So first thing I need to do right now, before we even talk about what has been literally talked about in like the last couple of days here as of 2024, we need to go back into the mystical year of 2023. Yes, I know, that far away. But basically, I want to go back to where we started seeing Xbox is trying to get Game Pass, which again is their big subscription service and everything, onto other platforms. Spoiler, they kind of already have. They've been getting it onto phones, they've been getting it onto PCs, obviously. So they've already been doing that for a while. But Phil Spencer had talked about trying to get it onto something like the Nintendo Switch, aka using the cloud gaming service thing that, you know, Xbox is pretty well known for, that you could stream it through Game Pass onto the console, because clearly the Switch can't handle every single game on, you know, Xbox's lineup of games and everything like that. I think something like, you know, smaller games easily 100% can, because there's actually a lot of indie games that you will find on Xbox that you also find on the Switch and also PlayStation and PC and all that stuff. But obviously you can't play them all. So how do you do that? Well, you have to stream it, right? I mean, Nintendo's already been doing that with things like Kingdom Hearts and all that kind of stuff. And they probably should have done it with the Batman Arkham trilogy, but that's a whole other story right there. But it just shows you that that's what they're trying to do. And they've even mentioned about even trying to do something like that on PlayStation. And oh boy, fanboys lost their absolute minds. Why would I ever play your shit games, Xbox? Hey, you'd be lucky to have our games on your console there, fanboy. Again, comment sections, everywhere. Crazy, fun to watch though. Get some popcorn if you ever want to see a really good show. But anyway, so that was kind of dropped last year in 2023, and every now and then it would pop back up in the news and all that kind of stuff, but nothing ever really like, you know, stuck or anything like that. Like people thought like, okay, Phil Spencer's talking about this potentially, and you know, especially because, you know, he's not really trying to be too focused on the console selling itself, more of the software stuff, which we'll get into a little bit about Microsoft itself in general and why it's kind of been their thing for quite a long time actually. But then comes along 2024, and we're talking like, I mean, it's only what, it's the 9th at the time of this recording here in Tokyo, Japan when I'm recording this, and yeah, not even 10 days into the year. But all of a sudden we start seeing things pop up like this, saying that Hi-Fi Rush is going to be coming over to the Switch. And of course, Forbes, you know, they want to get that click right here. And again, it's not just Forbes, by the way. There's tons of articles. This is simply the first one I find, so I could show you up on the screen right now. But saying that Xbox fans grow concerned Hi-Fi Rush may end up on Nintendo Switch. And then less than probably 24 hours after that started popping up, or that kind of news and everything like that, we started seeing things of like Sea of Thieves could be released for PlayStation and Switch, it's claims. So it's kind of like, oh, okay, so Xbox's claim of trying to get everything onto the other platforms, besides the ones that they've already had them on, that looks like it may be potentially starting to come true, because now there's even things about how something's been rated a Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch and the PS4, which made me kind of question it, because I'm like, wait, shouldn't that say the PS5? I'm not saying the PS4 can't run it. I'm pretty sure it'd be for the PS5. At least you want to market it that way. I'm not really sure. But regardless, the fact that we see that already, it's just kind of like, holy crap, like what is going on here? Because generally 9 times out of 10, when somebody starts getting rated or it gets leaked and it's rated, or a website rates something, it's like, oh, you should not have done that, which was supposed to be revealed for like another couple of months or something like that. We can almost guarantee that it's real and everything. So looking at this right now, it's kind of like, okay, so is Xbox just gonna like give up on the console side itself and focus solely on software and just get everything out to everybody and basically become a publisher, which has been kind of rumored / talked about for the last, I'd say, 5 to 6 months, give or take? Well, they potentially could. Now, I'm not saying that Xbox Series X is gonna be the last console ever or anything like that, or, you know, they're just gonna be like tomorrow and be like, oh yeah, guys, sorry, console done, we're literally just selling Game Pass everywhere, come and buy it. Essentially, I'm not saying anything like that. I know that's not going to happen here. But if you know anything about Microsoft, who owns Xbox, they're a software distribution like company. This is what they've been doing for a long time, not just games. They've done this with all of their software products. And yeah, they kind of made, what was it again? Oh yeah, $3 trillion, or that's what they're worth at least right now. So they kind of know what they're doing in that regard in terms of how to get software to everywhere and just rake in the cash. Love them or hate it, you can't deny that's what they're very good at. So there could be a moment here where Xbox is like, all right, you know, we're still gonna make like an Xbox machine, but we know that our real money is gonna be made in just simply getting our software out to everyone, aka Game Pass, right? Because let's face it, both Sony and Xbox, they don't sell their consoles at a profit. They sell them at a loss, because what they want is they want you to then buy the software stuff, right? The games, the subscription services, all of that, and keep you in there. That is more money for them than a box that you'll buy once, maybe twice, depending if yours breaks or not. And that's basically it, right? That's where the real money is and everything. And again, Xbox has known this because they've done this with other products and everything. So to see something like, you know, oh, Hi-Fi Rush is potentially coming to something like the Switch, or Sea of Thieves is potentially coming to PlayStation and Switch, whether that's streamed or native or anything like that, it wouldn't surprise me. Now, obviously, a lot of that's going to come down to Phil or anyone at Xbox basically trying to talk with both Nintendo and with Sony and saying like, hey, we want to do this. And, you know, obviously they're going to want to take a cut because, again, businesses, that's just how it works and everything like that. And maybe potentially in this next year, we could see Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch or Sea of Thieves on PlayStation. Now, to address the console wars, as we all like to call you guys and everything like that, oh my gosh, this is, you know, a huge snub to Xbox players and everything like that. You know, this is going to lose them money and fans and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's funny because I'm pretty sure that's what all the Sony bots and the PlayStation bots said when Sony started putting their games onto PC. Now, granted, they haven't done all of them yet, and they still wait at least a year minimum to then put some of their games on PC. In fact, I think the only game to my knowledge I know of as of right now that's going to be released as the PlayStation 5 version is Helldivers 2, which is their live service game, which makes sense. With a live service game, you want it on as many platforms that you're good with having it on there and everything like that. But Hi-Fi Rush came out about a year ago, so that would be fine. And then Sea of Thieves has been out for, I want to say 5-6 years now, give or take. And again, PlayStation's already been doing this on PC, and all the Sony fanboys, they freaked out saying like, how dare they put this game onto PC? Well, guess what? It's done exactly what they've wanted it to, though. They have put a game that they already released on their home console. They released it on PC. It's a, for the most part, pretty good reviews and everything. I think The Last of Us, and I think there was one more game that they might have done that the port wasn't exactly the greatest, but for the most part, all their PC ports from PlayStation have been super good. And what that's done is that's not only given them, well, more money, because it doesn't cost as much to port the game over to PC as it would be to make a full brand new game, especially with all these AAA releases and everything, but then it gets, the PlayStation brand into the PC players' minds. And if there's somebody who can't wait for the game for 2 to 3 years potentially before that comes out, they're going to go buy a PlayStation console and buy the game or sequel or whatever it is on there right then and there, and that's more money for Sony. So they've been doing this for a while. Now, unfortunately, as much as I would love to see something like Nintendo games on PC to really crank up those graphics, we know that's not going to happen. But regardless, I just had to kind of put it in there. With Xbox now basically trying to do that same thing, they already have their games on PC. They've had it there for a long time, obviously. And now there's this potential. Again, this isn't confirmed or anything. This is all kind of speculation and rumors. But again, Phil Spencer has talked about this and mentioned that he wants to try to do something like this. We could potentially see these games on the other consoles, especially if Xbox decides to ditch being just this box and go multi-platformer, especially if they decide to go publisher. I don't think they're, obviously, like I said, they're not going to ditch the Xbox, at least as of right now, but geez, if like in 5 to 7 years they actually do that would be crazy. Because one thing that actually, the more I thought about it from all those leaked documents that we saw, which by the way weren't data mined or anything, they just simply were, well, we got to see them essentially, they weren't hacked or anything like that. Their goal is to have 100 million subscribers into Game Pass by 2030. And where they are as of, well, end of around 2023-ish or so, which I think was around June or July last I checked, they're only at like 15, 20 million, give or take, and they have to get 80 million in 6 years? That's not very easy, especially when you have a finite amount of players on either your Xbox or on PC, right? Even again, Game Pass is considered one of the greatest things when it comes to, the amount of stuff you get for your dollar. But again, there's only a finite amount of people who either own a PC or an Xbox, and they're trying to also bank on, especially if you have a phone and using the cloud service and everything like that. So how do you get those numbers up? You get them on the other platforms, regardless if you like that or not. I'm just stating facts here. If you want to get those numbers up faster, that's generally how you want to do it. You want to try and get onto more platforms, which is obviously what they've been trying to do. So this would technically be a way for that to work. Now, me personally, I've stated many times in the past, and a couple of other guys here on the team have as well, I love Game Pass for the indie games and everything like that, but it's not sustainable for your big AAA games. And that's why Sony and Nintendo, they don't do something like this, right? They have their kind of like, subscription services, and Sony, I know, gives out a bunch of those games on certain tiers and everything like that, but they don't release day one games on their subscription service that are technically free because you're paying the monthly service and everything like that, because that is a huge loss in money for them, right? So, AA games and indie games, it's amazing. It really can boost sales and everything like that, but not so much for the big AAA ones. And that's why Game Pass has always been kind of looked at as kind of like a not so good thing for a AAA game, unless potentially the game bombs, and there's some special cases in there, but overall, that's just the way I've personally looked at it. And for the most part, the data has actually, confirmed that and everything. So could this be a good move for Xbox? Is this even going to happen? I'd say there's actually a decent chance you could potentially see something like this, especially if that whole rating news is true with the Switch and the PS4. Yeah, I could see it. it would definitely make them more money. Because think about it, if they just said like, hey, by the way, Hi-Fi Rush has been, you know, exclusive on Game Pass / on the Xbox / PC console and everything. Now it's also available on Switch and it's available on PlayStation. Let's just say, for example, hypothetically that it happens. Guess what? That's going to probably be pushed at the front of the stores to try and make a lot of money right there. And that's going to be more sales. That's more money for both Nintendo and Sony, obviously. And then they have to give a cut to Microsoft and everything because that's just the way it works. Yeah, I could see it working like that. No problem. Is it sustainable for a long time to come? Because a lot of people have questioned, is something like Game Pass sustainable for a super long time, especially now with Activision and everything and all those games not being on there right now, but people are hoping that they are going to get on there slowly but surely. That's just something we have to wait and see. But if Microsoft wants to hit that 100 million subscriber number that they've talked about, guess what? That's kind of your next step right now, especially again with a finite amount of players on your current consoles and PC, and then I guess also phones and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, it's an interesting move. It's definitely an interesting move. I know a lot of people who would definitely pick up these games, not talking about our own personal Bobby, because he reviewed the game, and yeah, we like to not bring up that review. Just saying, had some good views, but you know, not exactly the best like to dislike ratio. But regardless, this could be pretty cool, right? You know, people already talking about seeing things like Gears of War on PlayStation or Halo on Switch, you know, obviously streamed and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure part of it's joking, part of it's kind of serious and everything, especially again, if this starts to actually look like it's supposed to. I don't know, it'd be kind of cool, not gonna lie. I obviously play Halo on the PC and everything, but Gears of War would be kind of cool to play on PlayStation, I'm not gonna lie. Or, you know, playing something like Hi-Fi Rush on your Switch that's mobile and everything, especially when you get the Switch 2 or whatever the next Switch console is going to be, because it's going to be more of an upgrade compared to a full brand new console or anything, because why would Nintendo do something like that? But yeah, it's definitely interesting. Again, regardless of what the fanboys will say on any side on the internet, it's a business move and it could be a good one, but we'll have to wait and see. So now I want to ask you, what are your personal thoughts on this? Again, I already know that the fanboys came in, left the dislikes and left the comments and everything, but if you've stuck around to the end of this video, I want to know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this will A, happen, and B, if you're on PlayStation or Nintendo consoles, would you buy these games? Right? Again, usually most of these will be waiting a year at the minimum to, let's just say 5 to 6 years if we're going off of Sea of Thieves and everything like that, but would you buy this stuff? It's an interesting question. So leave your thoughts in the comments down below right now. And if you like these kind of discussions and you want to talk about this more, join us on our live streams. We talk about this all the time. And leave us a like on the video and it will tell us that you like to see these type of things, and we can make more of these videos to give you more of what you want. So anyway, everyone, I've been Tallen with Direct Gaming. Thank you so much for dropping by the video, and I hope to see all your comments down below, and I'll try to reply to as many as I can. I hope you have an awesome day and an awesome week. Until next time, everyone, I'll see you all in the next one. Johnny.